Good evening, morning.
Hello.
Hey.
I'm lost here. I'm on the wrong tab. Here we are.
Wow, they changed the whole layout of the Hangouts.
Yeah.
Chat is to the right now.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So how are you?
Good. Yourself?
I'm great, yeah. Just spent a week off just working in the house, trying to freshen it up a bit because we're going to sell it in a year or so. So we're kind of getting the most obvious things cleaned up. There's a whole bunch of stuff that we started a couple of years ago that we never finished. And there's nothing as deterring as having walls with stripped down wallpaper and stuff like that for potential buyers. So yes.
How long have you been there?
That's about 7 years.
Oh, that's a long time. Long enough to have a lot of stuff to move.
Yes, yeah, but we try to throw out quite a bit of things every year. Kind of go through the attic and clean it out. And if stuff survive a couple of years without us ever using it, then we kind of figure that it should be tossed out.
Sure.
So
we started carrying stuff over to our winter house, although we haven't moved yet, as you can see from the background.
Yes. Yeah.
But it's been below freezing for a while now.
So yeah, you do that every year, right? Moving up and down.
Yeah, it's only a couple 100 feet. So, And both places remain furnished. It's just a matter of taking the stuff that you use, right?
Right. Yeah. And even if you forget something, it's not really a big deal. I suppose you can just.
As long as it doesn't matter if it freezes.
Oh right, stuff that might get damaged if it freezes. That's what you're talking about. Okay.
Because we don't heat the log cabin. It would be a trick to heat the log cabin in the winter. Here's Larry.
Hi. How you doing?
I'm great. Yeah, you too. So how are you?
Oh, I'm doing fine.
Yeah.
I see is Mike right now. Is Gert there on the audio?
I'm there.
Okay.
Yes.
I thought I recognized that voice. Number 40, Eigenharp Clubhouse, number 40.
Yes. And that's not counting all the ones that cancelled or the 40th
I or Mike or
recorded
else,
recorded Eigenharp Clubhouse actually.
And also we had some on Wednesdays a while back there too. So that's amazing.
Yeah,
Just could not believe it.
More than a year, I think we've been doing this.
Oh my.
We can only see the upper half of your head. Oh, okay. Or you can tilt the camera. It was like
okay. See, besides not seeing
Sit up
anybody
straight.
else, yeah, I'm not seeing myself either, so that's part of the problem there.
Hey, Antonio. Oh, Black Antonio again.
This is interesting. Oh, well, as long as I'm sitting up straight, I guess I'm okay.
I think we're going to start remembering Antonio as just black.
Just
black square.
Yeah. He's always kind of hiding in the background, making beautiful music, though. Boy.
Yes.
I definitely like his strummer on the piano.
Yes, yeah, it was beautiful.
That was very good, and it's just one of the things I like about the Eigenharp is you can make up a piano you can strum. I think that's really cool.
But what I thought was really amazing was that he thought of splitting his playing keys into two sections, so that it would actually have 12 courses instead of 6 long courses, meaning that he could use the 12 the 12 percussion keys to actually strum a 12 course instrument.
That's how he did that. Okay. I wasn't aware of that. I knew something was going on there.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's quite ingenious. It's hadn't thought of that. It's very nice approach.
Now, Piano Tech uses multi multi-timbral the right term?
Yeah, but it's a bit buggy in the latest
on a
versions.
bi-channel.
Yes, but it's a bit buggy in the latest version. Since version 4, there is stuff that doesn't work anymore. It's hey Rachitza.
Hello.
Hello.
It's
Morning.
so it works for a little while, and then sometimes a voice gets stolen by another channel, and then the things are not isolated well enough anymore. So something went wrong in their engine. I've been meaning to contact them, but I never got around to it. I should.
And on the same subject with PPG wave generator, is that what you and Wolfgang are working on? Is that on a per channel basis, or is that better than that? I don't know the right term to use.
Well, if it goes over MIDI, you only have one possibility, which is have a single voice on a single MIDI channel. So it's per channel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it per channel? Okay.
Yes. But it really works very well, and I think he is now going to I'm tired. Include it in the next free update. It used to be. It used to be that he was planning to do that as a paid in-app purchase, but it's going to be a free upgrade. I think that's the last news about that, so that's cool.
That's real nice. Yeah, I'm very impressed with that. I'm still learning it a lot.
Yes, I was working with it a bit, and it's a bit disappointing that you couldn't import external waves to build timbres with. Yeah, I asked him. He says it's not possible because it doesn't have any wave analysis. You can only kind of build them yourself by editing this, the spectrogram and stuff like that, or start from the built-in waves.
So I'm confusing that with Animoog, where you can import your own waves if you do it right.
Yes.
Yeah, somebody had YouTube up about the details about that.
Yes, because I wanted actually to take some of the waves from Animoog and put those into PPG, because I like what PPG is capable of, and I like some of the primary wave sounds that Animoog ships with. And I thought, well, let's combine both, but it doesn't seem to be possible.
Okay.
One thing.
So much good stuff.
So this, I was very. There's still a problem with it though. But the iConnect MIDI the performance of that thing is really quite impressive.
Good.
Yeah. Except that my firmware upgrade switch is actually defective, so I can't upgrade it. And they've been tossing me around for about almost 3 weeks now, saying that they're going to follow up, but they don't follow up, which is a bit frustrating. So we'll get back to you in 2 days, and we'll get back to you in 2 days.
Well, I don't know. I haven't used mine yet. I've had it for a number of months, so I don't know if I'm in the same boat or not. As far as software upgrades, I haven't hooked it up yet.
Well, if you play the Eigenharp with any of the iPad synths, it's really well worth hooking that up, because it works perfectly without any decimation on the outgoing MIDI. It really full bandwidth just streams through without any problems. And I was quite surprised that PPG was able to hold up, just getting all that information streamed straight into it and just no problem.
Wow, that's good. That's real good.
Well, Antonio, we miss you. We want to see your face. I'm not okay with you staying in the black. Well, that's okay. Technical stuff is not easy to figure out on the spot like that.
Okay. Yeah, I've noticed that they've redone the interface a little bit on Hangout.
Yes, it's
the chat is on the wrong side.
Yes, it's to the right now.
It's not just me then, huh?
I think
what did I do wrong?
It gives you more screen estate, because otherwise you had this white space around the main video, and I think that this kind of eliminates it. Well, that's what it looks like to me.
Well, at least I can read the chat now. I found it.
Okay. I can't help it. Okay.
Oh yeah, I know. Those are hilarious.
Sorry. I'll stop now.
Is that Google Effects?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. You look good with that, Mike. You really do. Just well, not so much with that. The Pirates is better.
Yes, the Pirates were better. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you have to talk like a pirate, Mike. Otherwise,
Yeah, right.
Oh, he just talks like a Canadian. Oh well.
a Canadian pirate.
Canadian pirate. A clown and a pirate. All right.
Okay. Someone's bored.
I see. I'm not the only one who wants to play with all of these.
Yeah, I like him.
There's chat.
So, Antonio, I don't know if you've heard that, but Larry was praising your piano strummer video, and me too. It's quite ingenious how you got those 12 courses set up with 12 strum keys. Didn't think of that, and it's a very nice find, I think. So, I have to mess around with that one day. And it seemed to me that you put it in some kind of an open tuning, so that when you just lay your fingers straight on it or played open courses, would be like an open tuning piano with 12 strings being strummed. Right.
All new concepts, yes. He's typing away.
He says yes, yes.
Talking is much faster.
Yes, that would be cool. What would be cool also if you could, tell people how you set that up. I think it would be very worthwhile for others to know how to get that working.
I agree.
So I don't know if you've ever have time for that. I know it takes a long time to do stuff like that.
He's still typing.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I know. So you, Dragica, you're still doing a lot of the improvisation classes I saw on Twitter?
Yeah, I'm doing these, which is pretty fun because I can explore what I can do or cannot do, or what's working. It's interesting with a didgeridoo and a piano and an bass saxophone. So it's not really a conventional combo.
Right.
And it's a lot of fun because they are open to whatever I bring. So if I'm, yeah.
That's cool.
It's nice to explore. Do some cool stuff. Yeah, and it's actually it's a workshop, so it's classes, so it's somebody there. It's not just we goofing off. It's somebody there who gives feedback and helps us getting better.
So
which is not bad.
That's been going on for quite a while, right? Is this something that you do for a whole year, where every week you've got a workshop, or how does this work?
No. It was it's the third time now. It's actually it's every 2 weeks. But we have to find, like it's people having jobs, people having families. It's all this stuff. Finding time in the evening is slightly difficult. So it came out of the Rosa stuff when I was a week in the Alps doing the workshop, and I found out that one of the guys is from Zurich too. So he more or less asked he's doing improv for a longer time, and he asked his teacher to do a new improv workshop. So we started a new one, and it's theoretically every 2 weeks.
Okay. Well, that's cool.
Practically, it's
once a month.
Once a month, sometimes 2 times a month.
Sounds like the rehearsals of my band. Because it's the same problems with families and work and holidays and kids, and it's always someone canceling.
Yeah.
It makes it difficult though to create. It's one of the challenges we're facing now. Is we're trying to come up with a new direction, with new material, without enough time to rehearse. It's very difficult.
I think in a band it would also. I mean, as a workshop, I think it's good that there is this much time between them because I'm doing other stuff too, which is not workshop related, but or I can't use in the workshop because it's not. I can't play it in a band yet or with other people. But I think for a band, it must be really hard to not rehearse.
Yes. I was thinking about something today. Well, it's a topic that I've been talking about for so long already. It's like coming up with an Eigenharp sound that I really like. And so, thinking about what the guitar does for me, getting to that sentiment, and I actually realized that I'm probably playing the guitar a bit differently than a lot of people because I come from acoustic steel string guitar background and then moved on to electric and play electric much like how I played steel string and not as a typical electric guitar. And so when I've been designing kind of the Eigenharp sounds, I've been kind of crafting beautiful sounds, things that I thought I could be very expressive with. And then this morning, all of a sudden I was thinking about that and thought maybe that's not the right approach, because as soon as it becomes beautiful and very expressive, it grabs your attention, meaning that it can be much less as a sound that how do you say this, does the accompaniment of a song, just like an acoustic guitar where you strum, actually lays out more of the rhythmical and harmonic foundations, as opposed to something that jumps in front and is very expressive. It kind of leaves the space to vocals or solo instruments. And I'm going to see if I have to mature that idea a bit further, because combining both, actually, I don't think that it's possible. Because as soon as something becomes too expressive and too attention grabbing, it might be that you lose the other quality, which is the quality that lays out a foundation and then still leaves space for other instruments.
Gives depth to others. Yeah, we have this problem too in the improv workshop. We have the piano, oftentimes with its harmony, grabs the attention, and if I go in with the Eigenharp and do the same, we are having too much. It's too much.
Yes.
So sometimes I'm doing really stuff that's I've found out, okay, we are, as an improv group, we are pretty special because none of us is really interested in beautiful sounds or beautiful music. We are more into experimental and find out what kind of sounds we can make or the others can make with their analog instruments. So the sax player seldomly plays real sax. And the didgeridoo guy sometimes does this drone, but not the whole time, because it's it's so attention grabbing, and you can't do it you can't do anything if you have a constant drone in the background. It's so limiting. So he's doing other stuff too. The piano guy naturally has problems because the piano is the piano, and it's slightly more difficult to get a non-beautiful sound out of it. But I found out that sometimes it's really much better if I'm more noisy and less melodious, because it somehow gives, not all the time, but it somehow gives a depth. It adds something, like a background to lift the other stuff up a little bit.
Yes.
To make it just more full.
Yes. Yeah, so it's an aspect of music that I've never really thought of that much, which I've been doing that naturally with the acoustic guitar for so long, but never actually stood still and kind of ponder on what the qualities were of that way of playing music.
Well, before you were just taking existing musical instruments, more or less, and then adapting them to what you wanted to play. And now you have complete freedom of designing an instrument or instrument sounds, and it makes it a whole different way of approaching things, I would guess.
Yes, but what I was trying to do is kind of to combine a solo instrument together with a rhythmical acoustic guitar kind of role. And I'm wondering if that's even possible, just basically due to the nature of grabbing attention or not, and leaving space and finding your position in an arrangement. It's just like yeah. So anyway, that's my thought of the day.
It's a good
might
one.
Be another one tomorrow, but.
Yeah, that's what I'm liking about the improv workshop. That's where I can explore things like this. How does an Eigenharp, which is such an electronic instrument, it's really electronic, fit in a group of people doing having these analog instruments? I mean, how do you connect with a didgeridoo?
It's very difficult.
Which is such a primitive primitive in, you know what I mean.
Yes.
Which is such a primitive instrument in a way. It's not sophisticated. It does one thing, which it does very well, but it does one thing. Actually, it's done to do a drone, and everything else, you see it on the face of the guy playing it. Everything else is much more problematic for him,
yes.
because he can't use his instrument. So it's interesting.
Sorry about that. Oh, is that that Theorbo sound, Antonio?
Can't play and type at the same time.
Yeah, trying audio. Well, that's another agent that I've been meaning to write for 2 years. An Eigenharp keyboard agent.
I thought about that since I'm making a slideshow in Max MSP, controlled by the Eigenharp. I thought about doing a live coding proposal about doing live coding with the Eigenharp.
Yes, I'm wondering if getting something like the Fingerer going with a keyboard agent wouldn't allow you to kind of to be very steady with your fingers and do lots of combinations. Anyway, a little bit like this thing. And then when my hands ache, I type on this. It's just kind of like a game controller, but with keys on both sides. So you hold it like this, and you type like that. So and I was thinking if this is the Pico, I hold it like this, and I type like that. Could be cool. Anyway.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I'm doing a lot of overtone, and there it would be really nice to have something like this. Overtone is closure, Super Collider with closure.
Yeah, I don't know that.
No, it's designed for live coding. The thing is you code Super Collider live. You instantiate your synths, and then you can play them with MIDI or C or Tune. And it would be really fun to have the Eigenharp, use just the Eigenharp to on one hand write the overtone commandos, and on the other hand play the instrument. Well, and I'm thinking really about something like this, live coding with the Eigenharp.
Well, actually,
and only the Eigenharp.
I don't think that would be that difficult as an agent to write. It could probably just be done in Python. So
yeah, no, it won't be difficult. It's just I have to think about if it's workable.
Yeah.
But this would be somehow fun to do.
Definitely. So I caved and I ordered the Micro Mac analog synth a week ago. Anyway, been drooling over it for so long, and then and Ken keeps teasing you about posting all his stuff, and I do think that it sounds amazing for everything that I've heard. So we'll see how it goes. I think they're having. I don't like looping that much, so I'm always missing that, being able to play a bass foundation or just a drone and melody at the same time. Kind of needs, you need to have two different synths for that. So I'm hoping that will put an end to that. The famous last words.
It sounds good anyhow.
Yeah, the next challenge though is getting enough CV out, because I currently have over an ADAT output. You've got eight channels of CV that I can put out, but on the Micro Mac you've got 3 CV ins for each different oscillator. Well, you can have one to control all 3, but it becomes interesting when you control them independently. But then you still have volume and filter. And gate, you also have the gate, so that brings it up to 6, which is a problem, because if I want to play that together with my Slim Fatty, I'm out of 2. So because I only have 8 outs, so I've been thinking about that and how to solve that. Yeah. And it's simply going to be very difficult with the gear that I already have, and I don't want to buy anything. So I think I'll probably have to solder some stuff, trying to convert one of the non-DC coupled analog outputs of one of my audio interfaces into. Apparently, you can if you up the voltage, then you can get it more stable and still be using it in that way.
Okay.
Yes, Antonio, but those ADAT expansions are very expensive. They're expensive, and to use that together with your regular audio interface, you either have to have enough outputs on your audio interface, which I don't have. Either you have to use an aggregate device, and then you get more latency. So. And then I was thinking, it could be actually cool to build a device, probably a couple of months' work or years, which connects directly through Ethernet, and then has a whole bunch of just direct current outputs, and it gets OSC messages over Ethernet, and then just outputs those to create voltages. That's basically it. And you could send it OSC from anything you want, including Eigen-D, and then just generate voltages, because it's the only thing that you really have to do.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be too complicated, because you can use an Arduino with an Ethernet shield. So you can probably get the Arduino to get the OSC messages and put out the CV. Or something else like this.
Yes, I was thinking of building something off of my Raspberry Pi. I also have Ethernet input there, and there's an expansion port on that. I've been toying around with that. Just need to figure out how I can create the analog output part of that, because I'm totally unknowledgeable about that. But I'm working on my electronics.
Yeah.
I think I have seen something like this. Somebody has tried something similar.
Okay.
I'm not sure if with the Raspberry Pi, or I know that somebody has done something similar with an Arduino.
Yes, I've seen. I think I've seen that also.
And I think I have seen something with a Raspberry Pi where somebody uses the Raspberry Pi for his synth with something similar like you want, just not with Ethernet. I think they used USB. But that's...
I doubt that, because the Raspberry Pi can only be a USB host, so you can't connect to something else. Yeah. You can't make it a client of something else. So, and obviously we'll have to receive something.
I have just seen that there is something out there, and then I put it somewhere.
Yeah, well, just. That's my idea about that, because that means that you could still use any audio interface. You don't have to actually use your valuable audio channels to have CV, and use Ethernet seems like a nice approach. You could just connect it anywhere in your network, and then address it, and have because those analog synths, they're a bitch to move for a lot of people. So yeah. It gives me a good, pet project to do stuff with my Raspberry Pi with.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah.
Which is quite an impressive little device, though. I'm quite impressed with that.
I don't
Yes.
have one yet.
Maybe Antonio. I might talk to Andrew about it. See what, yeah. But I actually would like to do it myself. I've been meaning to find a project to kind of go through a whole bunch of steps to learn electronics. And
It's a good one.
just learning it out of thin air is not as compelling as trying to go towards a certain goal. And so the Raspberry Pi has this expansion slot, and there is already a board that you can build yourself. It's called Hurt board. It's just like my name, but with a missing E. And so I'm building that now, just to get the first knowledge of that, and then move on maybe to something else afterwards. So
Sounds good. I like all that stuff.
yeah, you've soldered quite a lot, right? Done a lot of electronics in your time.
Oh, since I was 10 years old.
Yeah.
I started doing that when I was just a little kid, and doing it ever since.
Cool.
Not as much right now, but I keep looking at that Adrena and Mbekika or whatever it is that the Shruti people are making, and that looks intriguing. A little bit more expensive, but it's a 4-channel thing with four different filter boards in it, and a more complex processor board. Looked interesting. Wouldn't cost quite as much as buying 4 Shrutis, but it'll definitely get up there.
So you're still liking your Shruti?
Oh yes, I was definitely surprised at the difference a real, almost analog synth is compared to plugins. I was not expecting that.
Yes. It's very different.
Yeah,
some things, it goes in swings and roundabouts. Some things you can't get from one of them, and some things you can't get from the others. It's going back and forth.
Just seem to be more alive, fuller. Antonio speaking again. I hear some interesting background music.
I just heard noise.
Or is it just me?
It's in your head, Larry. It's in your head. You're turning into a Cylon.
I know it. Been around this stuff too long.
Yeah.
Well, I've got to get onward here. It's good to see all you guys. Happy 40th. And look forward to many more.
Okay, cool.
Have a good day.
Thanks for being there. Bye.
See you, Larry.
Bye.
Bye.
So, Mike, have you resumed playing the Eigenharp, or are you still much focusing on photography?
No, I've been taking a break, and it was one of the first things I carried over the hill. Probably, maybe it was Friday or Saturday. It's pretty rustic over here, and this time of year the temperature goes up and down dramatically throughout, a daily cycle.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought maybe it would be better off someplace where it wasn't being stress tested quite that way.
Yeah.
Although I don't know if that's... I think the thing's fairly robust in that sense.
I think so, based on all the design things that John has been talking about. But I wouldn't feel comfortable stress testing it in that environment either. It's a little bit like what John Nolan said on Twitter: panic when it doesn't turn on, and then you realize that your USB cable isn't plugged in. Panic of, God, it might be broken.
Yeah. Yeah. That red green blinking light telling you that it's not really connected, and you were like, what have I done wrong? Where's the cable not really in put in?
I've been having something weird with my iMac in the past few days. It's like USB, whole USB system seems to kind of go out of, I don't know what happens, but it seems like to fall off. It's all of a sudden devices stop working. It's, when I connect, for example, my USB speakers, it sees them, but it can't send anything to it, and so it doesn't see the name, and then I have to reboot, my Mac, and then it works again. So I think it's gonna fail pretty soon. It's not definitive enough to be able to send it in. I think I can't really say this is how you reproduce it. It just happens once in a while. So
maybe you should send it anyway. Because I thought that about my MacBook Pro. It's like something is not working. I have no idea what it is, and they replaced the mainboard. So maybe they have something they can test, which you don't.
Yeah, I don't know how stuff is for you. In Belgium, if you send it in, you lose it for 3 weeks.
Okay. Yeah,
So,
I have I have the advantage that I can bring it in, and then I pay, and then they look at it in 3 days. So I paid, like money or time.
Yeah.
And they
But
look
even,
at
you
it
have
in
to
3
pay
days.
anyway here also. You have to pay 80 euros just for them to look at it.
Yeah, it's just a little bit more if you want to look for them to look at it faster.
Right.
But I have to say, there are Apple dealers. They are not Apple.
Yeah, that's the same here.
But they have, they have a pretty big department of people who can repair this stuff.
So Antonio, it isn't my hub. I thought it was my hub initially, but it's been happening to devices that have been connected directly into my iMac also. So I thought it was my hub, but it isn't. Maybe it's my hub acting up and throwing everything out of the water, because I've been having problems with it also, but for quite a long time already. I'm tired. I've been planning on buying a new hub for like an eternity, but never do so. It's not kind of the most glorious purchase. I was like, oh, cool, yeah, I'm going to buy a USB hub. I've got to find which one to buy. And like sifting through USB hubs, did it once. And I can't just buy something like that. So I have to find out the good one. Value for money. No, spending hours to find a good USB hub is not on the top of my list.
Well, if you find one, let us know, because as far as I can tell, there's no such thing as a good USB hub.
It's strange, isn't it? It's, yeah, I find it strange. I've got this Belkin thing here, which is supposed to be a good one, but yes. But I'll probably have to buy one soon for my iPad, because I'm planning on. I ordered this very small USB to Toslink audio device. Let's see what it's called. Matrix USB Toslink. Oh, SPDIF. Yeah. That's it. Which is a tiny little thing. Paste it. And it basically, if you connect that to your iPad, you get digital audio out. And I'm planning on using that with a powered hub, so that I can use the iConnect MIDI, this USB to SPDIF audio device, and then I should be able to connect up my Eigenharp to my iPad and iPad to my audio interface through SPDIF, and then have everything together and working in the digital domain, which
Small.
sounds like it's cool. So I've ordered it, and I'm waiting for it to ship. I'll let you know how it goes, if it works well, and if this this whole setup works well. because I can hear the difference if I use my iPad with the crappy Alesis IO dock. The audio output is better than, luckily, better than the iPad standard headphone output, but the MIDI input is horrible. It's you can't send anything that's worth anything to it. So it's a shame because with the iConnect MIDI, I can send it, Eigenharp data straight through, but currently I have to connect it with a headphone output, which sounds a little bit crappy. So it's like, okay, I'm very expressive, but it sounds like crap, or I'm not expressive and it sounds nicer. That's kind of so. I hope that this little device will help that. So I ordered it on eBay from China. You never know how long that's going to take. I've had that take 3 days or 6 weeks.
Depends on what container ship they can toss it in.
Yes.
Or if it has to fly.
But Andrew Osler from Expert Sleepers has one, and he's been using it to actually send out CV straight from USB, because his stuff connects to SPDIF, and then you get 5 channels of CV out of that. So he says that it works well, so I suppose that it's worth trying out.
Say, Gord, when I have you on Hangout, OSC, the agent, gives for the strip 2 values, absolute strip and the other one. Mm-hmm. What's the difference?
Absolute is, if you've got a strip that it's long like that,
yeah.
Absolute is this is 0 and this is 1. So any position that you touch will always be the same value. Relative is you start at a value, and as you move, so that value where you start will be 0, and as you move one direction, it will gradually go negative. If you move upwards, it will gradually go positive. So the difference is, are you interested in the movement from where you started sliding, or are you interested in the position where you touch it?
So the strip automatically calculates that and puts it out in OSC. Yes. Because I actually expected just to have the absolute and to have to calculate the other one.
I think so. If that's I can't remember what the OSC engine does. We hacked that up so quickly. Let me just have a look. Actually, I'd be surprised. That it does that also. But let's see. Yes, that's basically it's got two independent inputs for that. It gets that straight from upstream. So it gets strip position 1 and 2 and absolute strip in 1 and 2. So if you connect that, whoa, Antonio has got it working. So so you get those are basically 4 inputs that you can connect upstream into. But it's actually what upstream sends. So if it's the keyboard agent that sends the value in that, those are just names in the OSC agent. If you connect breath to it, then you will get breath. But that's what the keyboard agent sends out. Yes, the keyboard agent sends those 2 different, so strip position and absolute strip. Those are the 2 different names. And I think that the absolute strip, but I'm always in doubt. I think it is like that. It starts at 0 at the bottom, and in the center, and then it goes up to 1. It goes up to 1, and it goes to -1 at the bottom, I think.
I can find. That's not the problem. I can find that's. I just was wondering why I get 2 positions, and if I'm really reading it right.
Yes.
Yeah, because I have to. I'm doing stuff on OSC, so I have to get the OSC into maximum speed.
Yes. Well, yeah. So.
More correct into JavaScript.
And what are you doing in JavaScript?
I'm to get the OSC message, to find out everything, to get the values out, I do that in JavaScript because it's easier for me than to wrangle with MaxMSP regular expression stuff, which doesn't work like I expect it to work. And since I need the JavaScript for jitter, for the slideshow stuff anyway, for the visualization actually, I need it in JavaScript.
Yes.
So the sound is probably going somewhere else, but I'm putting the stuff out in JavaScript, and then I can easily, without having to use all this funny max data stuff, easily cache it and find out, like what changed. Sometimes I want to know what changed.
Yes.
And with JavaScript, I have an easy way to do variables and arrays and whatever stuff I know instead of calls and jitter matrices and stuff. I have no idea how this should work. So it's just easier if I put it in the regular expression. I have regular expression. I have string split, which works like I'm used to string split to work, and I have arrays where I can put stuff in. So I'm happy with JavaScript.
Yes.
Much happier than having to, find it somewhere else. And it works. And I need it for jitter anyway, so.
Yes. That would be cool if you show what you're doing with that. I don't know if you plan on recording that presentation.
Yeah, it will be live on the internet, and I will probably try to get a recording of it. They record it too.
Well,
I will
do not Hangout on air from it. Why not?
Yeah, you can watch it live. I can maybe try to get a Hangout on. Yeah, and I plan to when I'm finished to publish it, to put it on the forum so that you can look at it and.
Cool.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest problem is me not knowing MaxMSP enough. And jitter, and not, yeah. And I have the Lego blocks.
Yeah, it's quite a complex piece of software.
Yeah, I last time I tried it with Super Collider and processing, which processing did the visual stuff and Super Collider did the audio stuff, and this was too complicated to start up. The problem is the startup thingies. If I do it in MaxMSP, I can have one thing. I can even do it in an app. Put it in an app, and I have one thing to start. I have Eigenharp to start up for the OSC stuff, and then I have MaxMSP. I have to start up, and I don't have to start up processing and Super Collider and make sure everything is connected, and so on. And that's why I'm doing it like this.
Yeah, it's better because making sure that the order is right can be tricky.
Yeah, it was like Super Collider didn't want to start up and connect with processing, and I forgot to start Jack. You have to start Jack too. So it's like too much. I want one program to open and do whatever I need to do. And thanks to the work, I mean, the guy who did this already, the OSC stuff, I copied some things from him, so it's...
Yeah. I mean, David Jameson's Max OSC stuff with his Eigenharp?
Yeah, there is this Eigenharp from Max.
Yeah, that's David Jameson.
Yeah.
Well, cool.
Yeah, I copied some things from him.
Cool that was
handy.
Cool that was helpful.
Yeah, I mean, not... I do the OSC message parsing. I do different because I need to have it in JavaScript. But his way to connect via MaxMSP the OSC, the Eigenharp OSC stuff. This was very helpful. So now I have everything in one package, and I don't have to have anything else open.
Cool.
And that's very cool. And I found out how to put... So I'll probably be really able to have a slideshow with text and visuals and sound and everything in the Max MSP.
And what's this slideshow about? Is this some kind of conference talk, or is this a creative presentation or a performance?
It's a creative presentation. Actually, I just want to do the concert, but it's Art and Science Night, and I was asked to please explain what I'm doing. And the please explain what I'm doing is not going to happen in PowerPoint, but I will have to somehow get the text up there. And I don't want to talk too much. So I have to explain what I'm doing, and the explaining what I'm doing is back in the visuals of the stuff I'm playing. So I want to have like a combination of text, the visualization of what I'm playing, and my playing the Eigenharp as a kind of, explanatory concert.
That's very cool.
So that's the idea. And that's what I'm hoping to get somehow.
You really have to try to record that. I think it'd be fun to watch.
I hope it goes well.
If you can just get a friend to put a video camera somewhere and record it the old-fashioned way.
It's recorded anyway. I have to just ask Mario to give me the recording afterwards.
Ask it before, from experience. I think it happened twice to me that they told me, your talk is going to be recorded, no problem. And I never asked the guy responsible for it beforehand, and he just deleted it afterwards.
Okay.
So ask it before.
We'll have to see that I get something,
Cool. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
It's difficult to explain what, creative stuff. If people ask, what are you doing? It's not hard to explain. Not easy to find a way to visualize that, or to even with just sounds, bring a concept across. Interesting to see how you do that.
I have so many people asking me, they ask me, I think your sounds are cool, but what are you actually doing? Because I'm not the expressive player in having, and the Eigenharp, it's mostly key presses, which means you press the key and then you rock the key and nobody sees anything. So people ask me, what are you actually doing? And I have to find a way to convey what I'm actually doing with the Eigenharp. Because with a guitar, most people have somehow a picture of what people are doing with a guitar. With an Eigenharp, it's slightly more difficult.
Just tell them, I'm blowing your mind. That's what I'm doing. That's the only reason why I'm sitting here.
Yeah.
I'm actually playing the 1 and 0s that make up the sound. Just very quickly typing them in.
Yeah.
Well, that would be an interesting concept.
Have a wave shaper.
Yeah.
Actually use the Eigenharp as a wave shaper. Should be actually possible. Use the Eigenharp, make multi-sliders, use that as a wave.
I've been playing around with that. Something very nice to do is to actually connect the pressure from the keyboard to an audio recorder, a digital audio recorder, record it and then look at the waveform. It's quite nice to look at. You can see exactly what you did. You can actually connect it to some kind of a live meter also to see that. So it is definitely some information that you can do something useful with, which is why I find that it's so much nicer to connect pressure directly through voltage to an analog synth, because you really feel that you're connected. But creating waveforms from it could be very interesting also, because you still have that direct connection. There's another project for you to work on.
We are getting there.
So many things to do and to try out.
Yeah, that's a fascinating thing. I don't see the next 10 years getting boring. So
No, definitely not. So how are you ever gonna get there? It's like take one, do one thing and you've got another 10 things piling up because. Okay, this
write
would be
them
cool
down.
too. This would be cool too. This would be cool too.
Write them down.
Still didn't do the
one
first
after
thing.
the other.
Okay. So Antonio, is your out Castello going well? No, we can't hear you. You know what? We can try lip reading. Put Antonio in full screen and then just try to lip read Antonio. Yeah, we can hear that.
Just play what you want to say.
Yeah, we'll try to understand. I think that means it goes great. I'm having a lot of fun. That's what you tried to say?
He has reconfigured his Eigenharp keyboard. Okay.
It does look beautiful when all those lights are lit to divide up playing surface. Very nice. Actually, maybe he's not even speaking. He's just pretending that the audio is not working. But he really lost his voice. But it's fun to see a theremin behind you.
Real voice.
You have to. Do you play theremin? I've always thought that it's actually quite difficult to play that. I think it must hurt your arms also if you just have to hold them up all the time like that. I don't know. I spent a week putting wallpaper up and it did hurt my arm doing like this.
The TED Talks on the theremin is one of the amazing TED Talks, actually. The woman doing it is quite hilarious. So that's worth looking up.
Yeah.
Ah, so you just use a theremin as a stand. Well, that's a creative way of using a theremin.
There is now on YouTube, you can find them. There's a theremin album recorded by a lady. It was done in the 50s, I think, and you can see her record all this theremin classical music played by the theremin. It's very interesting.
Look at it.
She has to really. You see, all the players have to stand really still. They can't move anything because if they move, it's going to get them. Yeah.
I'll have a look at that. Okay, guys. It's nice seeing you all.
Yeah.
It's been a while, and I'll try to make it next week. But there's always stuff coming up at the last moment, so try to be there.
Well, hopefully we'll see you all again next week.
Yeah.
Take care, guys.
Yeah, see you. Bye.
Next week. At least, Antonio, we see you now.
Yes. You'll
Next
have to start.
week, maybe we hear you
You have
here.
to start preparing signboards where you just write stuff up and then you say, "Yes, no, I agree." Yes.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.